Hey guys, it's been a while since I uploaded a video. About a week, I believe. Sorry I've been gone. This video is going up a little bit later than it was originally meant to. No, I've had this video ready since Sunday, but due to stuff in my personal life, I was not able to upload it until now. Anyway, without further ado, let's talk about this. So recently, the Nintendo Labo was announced. And I gave my 2 cents on that. If you want to go see my video, link is in the description. I made a video about Nintendo Labo, and to be honest, I was not overly excited by it. I thought it was a little bit gimmicky, to be honest. I thought it was a little bit of an odd idea. Now, here's the thing. I have no problem with Labo as long as it's not a major focus of Nintendo, which really it doesn't seem like it is going to be. Because there really hasn't been a ton of software announced for it yet. And, it doesn't seem like it's going to be something that's overly pushed by them, which I hope it really isn't. Because to me, Nintendo Labo is just another little thing that's there on the side if you're into that kind of thing, but really doesn't interest me much. Now, obviously, it's going to be a cool thing for kids, for younger people or for parents who want to, play something with their kids, make something with their kids, and that's perfectly cool. Having something like this, I probably would have loved this when I was younger. This whole idea of being able to basically put something together and then play a game with it, that's cool, and that's a very Nintendo idea. Nintendo are, are kind of one of those companies that just sort of throw something, and sometimes it's great. Sometimes it's, good for a bit, and then eventually gets stale, and sometimes it's just plain awful. But, this looks like it's something in the middle. It's not something anyone really wanted. Well, I mean, it is sort of the closest thing to VR we have on the Switch, but even then, calling this VR is a little bit of a stretch, in my personal opinion. It's more in the leagues of, I don't know. Honestly, I actually don't know what to call it. I guess it's almost like toys. It's like an evolution of Toys to Life in some regard, which is a really weird thing to say. But it's almost like that, It takes sort of that feel of being able to play a game where you have, pieces that interact with it, almost like a toy. And it's very much targeted towards a younger audience, which Nintendo, they love doing that. They love targeting to a younger audience, and that's perfectly fine. That's okay. It's been a part of the Nintendo brand for a very long time. Basically since the inception of it. Before Nintendo was making consoles regularly, and obviously starting in the early 80s, they were primarily a company making toys throughout the majority of the 20th century. Obviously before that they were making, cards and stuff like that, but the majority of the time in the 20th century, they were making various different kinds of toys, along with other things, like apparently love hotels and stuff of that sort. Lots of interesting things they ran during, I guess, the pre-1980s. The first gaming system they released was not the NES, though. That was the first console that was like a full thing. They did make a Pong console in 1977, I think, or 1976, around there, called the Color TV, Nintendo Color TV, I believe. I'm assuming most of you know about that already. Just thought it was something to note. So the idea of Nintendo, doing toys again doesn't surprise me. Obviously, last generation, Amiibos were such a big deal. It was so heavily pushed, and a lot of people, including myself, bought them. Keep in mind, I didn't buy as much as like most people did, if I'm being quite honest. I have barely the collection that most people do of Amiibos. I only have a few, and all of them are in box. I had that setup going on where you had a bunch of stuff on a shelf. You had a bunch of Amiibos on a shelf in box. And if anyone remembers that, which I think it's probably still a thing, it's you know what I mean? Yeah, I had one of those. I still do, actually. But with Nintendo, they like occasionally adding in something like that. Now, is Labo going to be as big of a thing as Amiibo? No. Especially considering the price of $70 for like the basic set. I don't see Labo as being a huge success for Nintendo. Not at all. Now, let's talk about the meat and potatoes of this video. The Switch Virtual Console and more thoughts on the Hate Online. Now, I did make a video last week about my opinions on Hate Online and how I thought it was, kind of a terrible idea. Keep in mind, that's simply my opinion. As said before, it's not going to necessarily kill Nintendo or anything like that. No, that's absolutely ridiculous. It's just, in my opinion, a questionable service or a questionable practice. Now, keep in mind, it is pretty cheap. It's only about $20 a year, I think, which is, better than the other service providers. With Microsoft and Sony, they cost what? I don't even know, like $60 a year. So I actually don't know. If anyone, I know I should have researched that, but for some reason, when writing the script for this video, I didn't think of looking that up. If any of you guys know, I think it's like $40 or $60 a month. If you guys know how much it costs, please tell me in the comments, because it's not coming to me now. But either way, I know for sure it's gonna be cheaper. It's like not $20 a year. That's not awful. I'm not gonna be paying for it, but for those who are paying for it, for all y'all who out there who, need to play whatever you want to play, rather it be Mario Kart, Splatoon, or Smash Bros. Let's talk about Smash Bros. In a second. I'm completely okay with that. And obviously, monthly, you're going to be getting a temporary NES game, and essentially in the form of a demo. You're going to have it for that month. And so far, it's only NES. I don't know if SNES is coming too, but I've heard from some people that it's not confirmed. It's just speculative, which makes sense in some regard, because if you think about it, Nintendo nowadays are doing these yearly console minis. The NES Classic Edition was a massive success. It sold out insanely, okay? And it was announced, and it came out around the same time as the Switch's announcement, so it added to the fuel of this hype of a new Nintendo that was going on at that time, which I've talked about already. It was a big deal at the time. It really was, and I actually wanted one for a while. I went to a bunch of stores trying to find one back in 2016. Couldn't find one. Same thing with the SNES Classic. That thing's been out for months, and I'm pretty sure it's nearing its end in availability. I imagine it's that came out in like September. It's like 5 months later. I don't even know. It's like almost February. Now there are rumors that there's gonna be another Direct tomorrow. That tomorrow there's gonna be a new Nintendo Direct. Do I think this is 100% true? I'm not really sure. There might be a Nintendo Direct tomorrow. I don't know. We're gonna have to wait and see. If so, I will be doing a live reaction. Well, not a live one, because I'm probably gonna have to. Well, I mean, it's probably gonna be, during the day, and I'm gonna be, off at school. So when I come back, then yeah, I'll do a little reaction to it. Keep in mind, I'll try to I have Nintendo set to notifications, and I'm pretty sure that would be uploaded to their YouTube channel. So I'll just click on the notification, just avoid anything else, because that's what happens. When you're like me and you don't always have the opportunity to watch this stuff live, it can be a bit of a pain to have to avoid spoilers, because a lot of the time, if you look at if I go into my recommended feed, it's going to be just chock full of, people spoiling things. Either way, I can still technically give my thoughts. It's just not the same. You know what I mean? It's not as pure, because I already know a bit. It's not like when I went to not like when I watched the Nintendo Labo reveal, where I had no idea about it. But yeah. So Smash Brothers on Switch. Do I think it's a possibility? 100%. Do I think it's the game that Nintendo needs to push the online service? That's hard to say. Listen, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not really super excited about the ports that the Nintendo Switch is getting, okay? Listen, it was okay to get Mario Kart, but I thought when they announced Pokken, that was, maybe stretching it a little bit. But Tropical Freeze, okay, that's a good game. Tropical Freeze, I love that game. Hyrule Warriors, I played the 3DS version of that, never picked it up on Wii U, and I heard the 3DS version wasn't very good with the base 3DS. I heard it was better with the new 3DS. Maybe I'll pick it up. I don't know. It's going to have all the DLC and stuff. Looks okay. And then there's, of course, stuff like Dark Souls coming to Switch, third-party ports, stuff like that. Overall, do I think porting is a great practice? No, I don't. I think it's a very, very mixed practice, especially considering the fact that Nintendo has the Virtual Console. But the Wii U was the last system. And it's not really a retro console yet. Now, is it? No, 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 no. The Wii U only came out 6 years ago, so not retro yet. Not really. You can't really do that with a virtual console yet. Maybe in a few years, maybe near the end of the Switch's lifespan, we'll have Wii U Virtual Console. But for now, the Wii U is new enough and the games are fresh enough to the point where they can sell them now for probably full price as a remaster or a port, and that's perfectly fine. They can port stuff if they want to. We do have a large library coming in the future. It's just we don't really know the release dates, and we don't know if it's 2018. Now, there is a ton of stuff, obviously, that could happen this year. Now, there's, of course, Nintendo are going to be at E3 this year. So, maybe we'll get release dates and new announcements for 2019 there. Because when we think about it, we're like a month in 2018 already, which is a little surreal to me. So, obviously, Nintendo has stuff planned for this year. Now, do I think that they're going to have a huge E3? Maybe. Because we have all these titles that are announced or in development or supposedly are coming this year that we don't know much about. On top of that, there's probably going to be more announcements for this year. There's probably going to be announcements for next year. And who knows what's coming in next year. We can all assume that Metroid is probably coming at the beginning of 2019. I'd assume that. And we, can assume maybe a few other little titles, but really what's going to be there. After the announcement of Metroid for Switch, my mind was blown, okay? Just like everyone else, I was screaming. I find that hilarious. That was like everyone's reaction to it. But yeah, I remember I watched that like live with my friend, and I was like, oh my god. I can't believe this is happening. Metroid on Switch, what? So who knows what we're going to get a revival for on the Switch. Maybe F-Zero? I think F-Zero is kind of likely, in my opinion. Is it definitely going to happen? No. But if we can get Metroid Prime on Switch, come on. We need that F-Zero action. Oh, and if we're going to be, I guess asking for more, something I would like are more series that were on the 3DS transitioning up to the Switch. Because when we think about it, the 3DS is a dying system. It's a beautiful system with one of the best libraries a console can humanly have. Seriously, the 3DS is immaculate as far as library goes. But it's age. The 3DS is 7 years old, or is almost 7 years old. Wow, that's a bit of a crazy thought, isn't it? I remember just yesterday when the system came out. But there's a huge library of titles that Nintendo always puts on portables. And because we can assume at least that the portable division is sort of being replaced by my Switch, why don't we take all the series that we usually get on 3DS and maybe transition them over to the Switch? Seriously, why aren't we getting 3DS ports? That's something I just thought of. The Wii U library is great and all, and the games are pretty and all, but in my opinion, we should be getting 3DS remasters on the Switch. Has no one thought of this? It makes so much sense. Okay? The Switch uses cartridges. The Switch is very portable dominated. So the idea of having HD versions of 3DS games is a beautiful idea. Why can't we get this? Okay? And we are getting World Ends a Few, which is a DS game, not a 3DS game, but still. So it makes me wonder, are we going to get more DS and 3DS ports? Because I wouldn't mind that. Because really, the Wii U's library is kind of small. It's a good library, but there's only a few titles that are really worth playing, and pretty much all of them are already announced for Switch, except Super Mario 3D World, Pikmin 3, and Wonderful 101 are the only ones that I can think of that are not coming to Switch. Other than that, Bayonetta 3 is coming. Bayonetta 2 is coming to Switch. Hyrule Warriors is coming to Switch. Pokken and Mario Kart are already on Switch. You know what I mean? Everything's coming to Switch. Why don't we get some 3DS ports? Does anyone else want 3DS ports? Is that just me? Am I weird? Probably. And then there's the topic of the Virtual Console. So we're already getting Neo Geo titles on Switch, which I encourage. I love the Neo Geo. I think it's a very underrated system. So the idea that we're going to be getting Neo Geo titles on the Switch is pretty cool. That is really, really cool, to me at least. Now, we're already getting them on the eShop, so are we going to be getting them on Virtual Console as well? And how is Virtual Console going to work? Are the Neo Geo titles already the earliest adaptation of Virtual Console? You know what I mean? Or is it going to be separate? I imagine it would be hosted through the Nintendo eShop. and there'd probably be a section for Virtual Console. But what systems are we going to see on Virtual Console? So obviously NES games are probably going to be a thing on Virtual Console, SNES games as well. But which ones and how many can we expect? On top of that, are we going to be getting N64 and onward on Virtual Console? Now the thing is, this year, there's a very likely chance, in my opinion, that we are going to be getting a Nintendo 64 Classic sort of thing. It may sound odd considering it's a 3D console, but then you remember it's the N64. It's not impossible to get ROMs of N64 games and play them on an emulator. It's not. You could do it. It can be done. I think it's quite likely, actually. The idea of us getting this. I think it's likely. Then there's GameCube Virtual Console. Now, a GameCube Classic in 2019 sounds like a crazy idea. But once again, the last two worked. Why change it? You know what I mean? So, who knows? Maybe we'll get a GameCube Classic, or we get GameCube games on Virtual Console, which seemingly everyone wants. Literally. Like, everyone wants that. And I agree. The GameCube has an insane lineup, okay? That system, even though it wasn't very successful, it just, look at the library on that system. It's insane, okay? And I'm into it. So we should definitely get that. Then there's Wii Virtual Console games, which we had on the Wii U, which is a little unusual for us to have that as soon as it, on the next console, and it was a little bit later on into the lifespan. But I think it's a cool idea. I think we should definitely get Wii games, because the Wii had a fairly good library too. There's definitely a lot of stuff there that's pretty nostalgic for a lot of people. So I could see it. Then there's GBA Virtual Console, which was extremely unexpected on the Wii U and was amazing. Please bring this back. Mario and Luigi were just playing Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga on a home console was awesome. And finally, DS Virtual Console. Being able to play DS games on Switch, it makes so much sense. Okay, it's a handheld console. Well, it's a partially handheld. I know it's, a handheld and a home console. Why not? And there was so much missed potential with DS games on the Wii U, so definitely, they definitely should do that. Maybe get Pokemon Virtual Console games on Switch, please. Be beautiful, do that. That would be awesome. Anyway. So, yeah. If you guys, guys, that's my thoughts. Hey guys, so I hope you enjoyed the video. I know I haven't uploaded in about a week. I'm very sorry for that, but I was busy with various things. And this script for this video took me a while to write. This is a longer video, I know, than I usually make, but I had a lot of points written down, and I also had a lot of things that I just sort of thought of saying on the spot. That's why some parts of this video sound a bit like, I'm doing ums and uhs and stuff like that, is because when I write my scripts, I'll sometimes just write down things to talk about, but I won't give enough to say, so I'll have to kind of improvise that, Anyway, if you guys like this video, please give it a like. That would be nice. If you dislike this video, leave it a dislike. And if you'd like to see more of these sorts of videos, subscribe for more. So yeah, hope you guys have a great day. Bye.